Got 30,000 days to live in your life if you're super healthy. Am I gonna spend my life this way so many years? Right after work, I need to study. In the morning, I study, 2 hours study. After I have dinner, 2 hours study. And that's a lot of work. But I think I'm start to figure things out.
How old are you?
This year, it will be 25 years old.
Can you describe to me what it feels like to be 25?
Well, it's a quite confusing age, I would say. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what should I do with my life? What should I do with most of my time? I got a full-time job now as an actuary. So for those of you who don't know what an actuary is,
I have no idea.
oh, okay, yeah, that's totally normal. The most straightforward example would be the person who priced your car insurance, and that's an actuary job. So we're basically working in insurance industry, and yeah, we face data every day. And yeah, as I said, 25 years old is a quite confusing age. And by facing data and crunching numbers every day, it's getting more confusing. Like sometimes it's get quite boring and you don't know, am I gonna spend my life this way so many years? Like we got 30,000 days to live in our life if you're super healthy. But yeah, it's a confusing age.
I'm 29 myself, and sometimes I feel like I don't even have it all figured out. But you know what? We just have to take it one step at a time and, just
take it day by day.
and just breathe a little bit. And we're too hard on ourselves. What's your biggest struggle right now?
I was kind of in a dilemma of whether to keep going with my actuarial exam. So in our profession, our main goal is really to get that final credential of a fellowship in the Society of Actuary in the US so that you can be a qualified actuary. So yeah, there's still a long way to go, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, who knows? Like you can fail those very complicated exams very easily. Should I keep going? I'm in my mid-20s and I keep spending time right after work. I need to study. In the morning I study, 2 hours study. After night, after I have dinner, 2 hours study. And that's a lot of work. And that's a lot of numbers to face and books to read. That's the huge dilemma that I'm facing now. But I think I'm start to figure things out.
That's great to hear. At least you're learning to cope and figure things out. To anybody that's watching, how do you overcome, struggling through your work or struggling through school?
I would say find your goal, what you really want to be, what you really accomplish. I don't know for most of the people, but I know for myself, I'm a very purpose or goal-oriented person. Everything I do, every minute I spend, I have to make sure it aligns with my goal, align with my dream, align with the version of myself that I want to become. So the reason I said I was pretty confused about like my job is that am I really just gonna be an actuary for this life? I definitely hope to be much more than that. I hope I can be like you, like have the courage to go out, interview people, and also influence them. That's gonna be a valuable memory for you in the future, and that's such a huge accomplishment.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. And it's great to document the public and document people because we're only here for a small amount of time. What are your biggest regrets in life?
I don't live with regrets. I just figure out something to do with my life. I also want to be a YouTuber, to be honest, and I'm gonna start doing it. I'm very excited about this idea of becoming an influencer, talking about the things that you truly care and make influences in your real life. Even though I have a full-time job, I can do it part-time as a side hustle to try to make as much influence as I can. Speaking of regret, if I don't make this decision now, if I wait until I finish all of my exams, keep telling myself, okay, this can wait. Come on, I got more important things to handle. Pass the exam, 2 to 3 years later, then I start chasing my dream. I was like, that's gonna be my biggest regret. For sure, just starts now, and I'm pretty happy with this decision. And this kind of excitement is something that I have never experienced before. I literally didn't sleep like last night and the night before last night. So it's crazy. I totally like this feeling.
You came to Canada from China. Tell me what it was like, what the experience was like, moving from such a giant country to, another giant country, I guess.
Yeah, totally. So I first landed in Canada year 2022 August. I was here for a master's degree in learning actuarial science. That's how we call the major. And at University of Waterloo, by the way.
Shout out University of Waterloo.
Yep, that's a great university, although pretty stressful, I have to be honest. I was full of hope, I would say. I was excited with the thing that I'm gonna be exposed to, and also I'm gonna learn. I think the first day I went to the statistics department, and I grabbed the new material for the next semester, for the new semester. And fresh new book stacking up like a mountain, and I feel totally excited. I was pumped up. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so knowledgeable. So I think that's kind of feeling everyone should have before you start doing something, right? Things get worn off, you get bored over time. However, you should keep looking for freshments. Although I'm not talking about food, but freshments, something that gets you worked out.
What's the biggest misconception people have about Chinese people or the Chinese culture?
That's a really good question. I'm a person that is very proud of my country. I'm very patriotic. And more importantly, I'm very proud of our culture. We have a profound history. We have more than 5,000 years continuous history. We have all those treasures when it comes to language, when it comes to literatures. My YouTube channel is actually going to be about it. Because I think it's a trend that China is shining in the global stage internationally, and more people start being curious and want to learn Chinese and want to learn more about China. I'm at this point, I think as a Chinese person that can speak a little bit of English, I think it's important for me to kind of step forward and introduce my country proudly.
What advice would you have given yourself back then, knowing what you know today?
I perceive myself as a pretty sensitive person in a way that I care too much about how people see me. So if I can go back and tell that little kid, how should you really live your life? I would say, really don't give a about how people see you.
100%?
It doesn't matter. People don't care. They really don't care. They genuinely don't care. Even though they're like saying shit about you or they're praising you, just take the positive energy. If you hear compliments, yeah, because that's you. You're worth it. You are good. But if you're learning something that they're like bad mouthing you, that's the energy that you don't want to take in. That's really not you. Don't fall into that trap. Just be you. The world is here for you. If you die, the world doesn't matter. When you think about it, you will figure out this is actually true. When you die, nothing matters. The world is solely here for you. Yeah.
That's deep. That's good. That's straight from the heart, man. Yeah. That was good. I love that. I think the exact same way. Same mindset, same mentality. You can't give a what anybody thinks, man. Yeah. Life's so short. There's not enough time to worry about everybody else's opinions.
Yeah.
Man, you have your own life to live, and that's it. You gotta live it, and don't worry about anybody.
Exactly.
That's it. Have you ever been bullied in life?
I wasn't really get physically bullied. But when I first joined my high school basketball team, I jumped onto that stage. Well, basically, when you first start out, the basketball team need you to compete with the current basketball team's members to show that you actually deserve that spot. Right. What happened is that I joined a team, and then I try to go against the old teammates, basically old team members, experienced basketball players. And by that time, I can barely dribble. That's how bad I was. And I can hear people were like laughing at me next to the court. And that kind of hurts me back then. And I think I kind of spent the whole high school, phase to kind of recover from it and to find my own confidence by being better, a little bit better every day at my craft, basically basketball at that time. So yeah, capabilities will definitely give you more confidence. And I think we should definitely focus more on building ourselves rather than, other people's comments.
Sorry you had to deal with those people in your life?
It's not on them. It's not on them. People laugh at me. That's totally fine. Sometimes I also make comments on other people that could potentially influence their emotion or hurt their feelings. But it's not them. It's how you take in the information. You can treat them as jokes. You can treat them as a way that, maybe people lack sense of security themselves. So that's why they make fun of you, because that's really the only way they can console themselves. That's one of the reasons. Try to perceive things in a more positive way instead of from a victim perspective. Because that's the only way that's gonna make you happy, right? You don't want to be victimizing yourself every day over every single thing, over every single bad thing.
Anybody out there that's experiencing bullying, whether that be in the workplace or in school, what advice would you give to somebody to handle a situation like that?
Leave the toxic environment if you can. That's probably the first step I would do. If you cannot, read more classics, read more philosophy, like philosophical like stuff, and watch more YouTube channel like yours. Hear about what all the people that has been there said about those experiences and how they tackle it. Just get inspirations from elsewhere, right? We're living in a information era. It's such an amazing time, man. It's such an amazing time because it allows you to surround yourself by amazing people without actually being with them physically. So yeah, the information, the content that you absorb every day, right? You might be swiping through reels. You might be going through the same difficulties as I have been going through because I was totally addicted with short videos and all that. And the first step I do is actually switching my short videos content because I can't get rid of my phone. I was like, I have to swipe it for a certain period of time every day. The first step I do is actually start looking for more positive content. Get rid of those toxic jokes and sayings. Just start looking at, productivity, life suggestions, how to be a better man. Yeah, this kind of content. And gradually you move to longer videos talking about that. And you will suddenly find that, when you lie on your bed every night, you will start thinking about great people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. I know it's quite controversial, but anyways, you get my idea.
If you had a piece of advice to give to the world, what would it be?
That's a really good question, by the way. I would say be genuine to yourself. Be real to yourself. You need to allow yourself to understand your demand from the bottom of your heart. And starting from there, you know what to chase in your life. You know what to pursue in your life. And most importantly, because you know who you are, because you tolerate yourself every time, because you do know your weakness and your edges, or the thing that you need to work on. You give yourself more tolerance, more kindness. That's really the starting point. You start loving yourself. Every time I look into the mirror, looking at myself, I will say how broken this person is, but I love him so deeply in my heart.
Positive affirmations.
Exactly, but that's true love. I think I love myself stronger than anyone in the world. And starting from there, you will find that you can actually express your kindness and positivity in a more genuine way to the people around you. Like to you, to my girlfriend, and to my parents, even to my colleagues. You're very genuine to them because you can tolerate all the mistakes you have made. You can proudly say that I have no regret in my life and I love myself so much. And if I make a mistake in work, I can totally tolerate that. I'm a human being. And it's so cute when I make a mistake. It's so lovable, right? If you can praise yourself like that genuinely, come on, you can treat anyone else in this world like this. Yes. Even the bully that we talk about, you can treat them with the highest tolerance you have. And then because you have all those highest tolerance, somehow all criticism and also bad comments, negativity, somehow convert itself to something positive, to empathy, because you understand where do they come from. And it's just a beautiful cycle that you want to get into, instead of a vicious cycle that you keep beating up yourself, keep pressing yourself. I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be better. I mean, that's a good intention, but the way of doing that has to change. Have to start with self-loving and respecting. Yeah.
100%. That's great. You couldn't have said it better. One last question, I'll let you go. What's the best piece of dating advice you'd give to somebody that's just getting into dating?
All I need to say is that your partner plays such an important role in your personal happiness. And when you think about it, you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person. You might want to pick it, more strategically and more carefully. If you ever realize it's a toxic relationship and you cannot solve it by having deep and genuine conversation, just drop it. I know it's like easier said than done, but like that's the best advice I can give.
That's amazing, man.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
sharing.
much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank